Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive with us.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too.
Ah,
Today we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic
yeah,
that a lot of people are probably familiar with, at least by title.
right.
We are going to be diving deep into the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus
Ooh, classic.
by John Gray.
Yes.
And this book is it's really all about how to improve your relationship and your communication skills with the opposite sex.
Absolutely.
And we have a really detailed outline that's based on the book.
Yep.
And it's got all kinds of real-life examples and tips in it.
Ooh, I like that.
So hopefully we'll have some aha moments while we're going through this.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure our listeners will too.
So the book starts out with this kind of a metaphor about men being from Mars and women being from Venus.
Right.
So I have to ask, are men and women really that different?
Well, John Gray uses that metaphor to kind of illustrate a point that, yeah, men and women are very different. And, he's not talking literally, of course, about planets, but it's more to highlight the, different approaches we have to problem solving or expressing emotions or even just showing love.
So it's like you're saying not aliens, but different species.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do these planetary differences kind of play out in like a real relationship?
Well, imagine you have a couple, we'll call them Alex and Jamie,
Okay.
and they're having a disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
Alex being from Mars, he'll want to fix the problem right away.
Makes sense.
Action, solution oriented.
Right.
But Jamie, on the other hand, from Venus, she just wants to talk about her feelings and,
Be heard.
be heard exactly
That's
and
right.
feel that connection.
I could definitely see that happening.
Right.
Yeah,
It happens all the time.
that's funny. It's like they're trying to solve the same problem,
Yeah.
but they're using like completely different tools.
Totally different tools, and they're not understanding, where the other one's coming from. And
Yeah.
then that can lead to misinterpretations.
So-
Or, like, Alex might think Jamie's overreacting,
Uh-huh.
while Jamie might think that Alex doesn't care
Right.
because he's not, wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like speaking different languages,
It is.
even when you're using the same words.
Yeah.
Really interesting. So the source goes on to highlight some key differences in men and women.
It does.
And one of the things that it brings up is their emotional needs.
Yes.
And it talks about how men need respect,
Mm-hmm.
appreciation, and autonomy.
Yes.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I think, when a man feels respected for his efforts or admired,
Uh,
that really, boosts his self-confidence and self-worth.
right. It makes him feel good
It does.
and capable.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. What about women? What are their emotional needs?
Well, women, it's all about feeling cared for and understood and having that emotional connection.
So it's more about feeling heard and validated
Absolutely.
than having someone come in and fix the problem for them.
Yes, because they might not even see it as a problem.
Right. They just want
Uh-huh.
to talk about it,
Exactly.
get it off their chest.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can see how if those needs aren't met on, both sides,
Yes.
that it could lead to some problems in the relationship,
Absolutely. Resentment and frustration.
for sure. Now, I'm curious, how do these different emotional needs then lead to conflict,
Okay.
especially when you factor in stress?
Right. Well, let's take another couple. We'll call them Taylor and Sam.
Okay.
And say Taylor, she's had a really long, stressful day,
Uh-huh.
and she wants to come home and just kind of, connect with Sam. Relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sam will also have a stressful day,
Oh, no.
and he needs some alone time
To decompress.
to decompress. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So you can see how that would cause some tension, right?
Yeah.
Because she's feeling neglected and he's
Oh.
feeling pressured.
It's like classic Mars-Venus clash.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate these differences without, driving each other crazy?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Right.
The book gives some good strategies.
Okay.
The first one is don't escalate.
Okay, so stay calm.
Stay calm, take a breath.
Don't say anything you're going to regret,
Exactly.
which can be hard
It can be very hard.
when you're in the heat of the moment.
Yes, but all relationships have conflict.
Yeah.
It's just how you deal with it.
Right.
That makes a difference.
Okay, so we take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
What next?
Then you have to listen.
Really listen.
Active listening.
Okay.
Try to see their perspective, even if you don't agree with it.
Put yourself in their Martian or Venusian shoes.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've listened, you've understood, or at least you're trying to.
Yes.
Now what?
Now you have to communicate your own feelings
Clearly?
clearly and respectfully,
Okay.
and then try to find a solution.
That works for both of you.
Yes. Compromise.
Compromise.
Remember, you're on the same team.
Even if you are from different planets.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about understanding your partner's needs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what about how to actually offer support.
Yes,
It seems like men and women might have different preferences there too.
absolutely.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What about men? How do they like to be supported?
Well, when a man is facing a problem,
Uh-huh.
he might appreciate, practical solutions
Okay.
or advice.
So like fix it.
Well, yeah,
Problem
how do
question.
you hope? It's not that he doesn't want to talk about his feeling.
Ah,
It's just that he processes them differently.
gotcha.
So sometimes just a simple acknowledgement.
Like, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate how hard you're working.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
I see your effort.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
That can be really validating.
Okay, so it's not about dismissing the feelings at all.
No, not at all.
It's just approaching it differently.
Different approach,
Ah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. What about women? How do they like to receive support?
Women crave empathy
Okay.
and understanding. They want to feel heard and validated in their emotions.
Yeah.
So instead of, jumping in with the solution,
Right.
just listen
Just listen.
and offer some comfort,
Yeah.
words of reassurance.
So be a good listener, not a fixer.
Yes.
I like that. So basically, we just need to tailor our support
Yes.
to our partner's needs.
To their needs and preferences.
Okay, I like that. The book gives a good example about this.
It does.
It talks about this couple, Casey and Riley.
Mm-hmm.
They're both dealing with some stress.
Mm-hmm.
Casey needs to just kind of vent about their day.
Okay.
And Riley just sits there and listens.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't try to fix it.
No.
Later on, Riley is feeling overwhelmed.
Okay.
Casey offers some helpful advice.
Mm-hmm.
And they both feel supported
Yes.
because their needs were met.
Each person got what they needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a really good example. Okay, so let's talk about love languages,
Okay.
which I think is something that a lot of people are familiar with these days.
Yes, very much so.
So this book talks about 5 main love languages.
It does.
Right.
Words of affirmation,
Okay.
acts of service,
Hmm.
receiving gifts,
Okay.
quality time,
Mm-hmm.
and physical touch.
Okay, so can you break those down a little bit more for us?
Yeah.
What does each one mean?
Okay, so words of affirmation, that's all about, expressing love through words.
Compliment.
Words of encouragement, appreciation.
Okay.
Acts of service is doing things for your partner.
Doing the dishes.
Doing the dishes,
Huh.
taking out the trash,
Yeah.
all of that.
Running errands.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Receiving gifts.
Yeah.
I think that one's pretty
It
self-explanatory.
sounds pretty easy.
Yeah, just thoughtful little gifts
Yeah,
that show you care.
right.
Quality time.
Quality time. That's about spending that focused, meaningful time together.
No phones.
No phones, just, being present.
Really being there
Yes.
in the moment.
There in the moment.
Okay, awesome. And then physical touch.
Yeah, that's about, expressing love through physical affection.
Hugs.
Hugs, kisses, holding hands, all of that.
Okay, so how does this tie back into the whole Mars-Venus thing?
Well, the book suggests that men tend to gravitate more towards
Service.
acts of service and physical touch
Okay.
as their primary love languages,
Uh-huh.
while women tend to go for words of affirmation and quality time.
Interesting.
But, of course, those are just generalizations.
Right.
And it's important for you to discover your own
Right.
and your partner's love language.
Because it might be different.
They could be different, yeah.
Yeah. The book talks about this couple, Morgan and Avery,
Uh-huh.
who have different love languages.
Right.
Morgan feels loved when Avery helps around the house.
Okay.
And Avery feels loved when Morgan gives compliments.
Oh, that's nice.
It is.
Sweet.
So it's just about, even little things can mean the world
Yes.
when it's in the right love language.
When you're speaking the language, they understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be these grand gestures.
It's little things.
Little things that go a long way.
Yeah, I like that.
You too.
Cool.
Oh.
So I think we've covered a lot in this first part
We have.
of our depth dive into men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yes. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
I've enjoyed it.
So we'll be right back
We will.
after a short break.
See you then.
It seems like just understanding those love languages could really help with a lot of those, like, you just don't get me,
Oh, absolutely.
that happen in relationships.
Totally.
So speaking of getting each other, the book also delves into the whole idea of intimacy, which can be a pretty loaded term.
It is.
So let's talk about that. What does intimacy really mean when we're talking about relationships?
Well, the book defines it as that feeling of closeness and connection
Yeah.
that goes beyond the physical.
Okay.
So you're talking about both the emotional and physical aspects.
Like feeling safe and understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Yeah.
Trust all of that good stuff.
Mm.
So emotional intimacy then involves things like
Open communication,
sharing feelings.
sharing experiences,
Yes.
really being present with each other.
Being present, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Putting the phones down,
Uh-huh.
all
Oh,
that.
yeah, for sure. So how does Mars and Venus play into all of this?
Well, the book suggests that men being from Mars, they tend to show intimacy through actions
Okay.
or, just being present with you,
Mm-hmm.
while women, mm, from Venus,
Yeah.
they might need that more verbal communication.
Those is deep conversations.
Yeah, those heart-to-heart talks.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about, different ways of expressing and receiving intimacy.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. The book gives another example here about a couple, Jamie and Riley.
Hmm.
Jamie feels really close to Riley
Okay.
when they spend quality time together,
Doing what?
like hiking,
Okay.
playing games,
Hmm.
doing those kinds of activities together.
Active things.
Active things, yeah.
Whereas Riley feels that closeness through like those really deep, meaningful conversations.
So opposite ends of the spectrum.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like finding a balance then is really important
Balance is key.
for fostering intimacy
Yes.
for both partners.
And finding that common ground,
Uh-huh.
where you can both feel connected
Yeah, and enjoy it.
and enjoy it. Exactly.
Right. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So we've talked about understanding our differences,
Yes.
navigating conflict,
Mm-hmm.
supporting each other,
Yeah.
love languages,
Yeah.
intimacy.
Yes.
What about the long game, though?
The long game.
Yeah. How do we keep the spark alive over time?
Well, that's what everybody wants to know.
Right.
The book really emphasizes that it takes effort,
Like a constant effort,
ongoing effort.
not just like set it and forget it.
No, you have to tend to it like a garden.
I love that analogy.
Right.
So how do we tend to that garden?
Well, you have to express your appreciation regularly. You have to keep the romance alive.
Date nights.
Date nights, yes.
Okay.
Supporting each other's goals
Uh-huh.
and dreams.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
All of that good stuff, and also maintaining respect.
Okay.
So understanding each other's perspective,
Uh-huh.
honoring boundaries.
Boundaries are big.
They are.
Yeah, for sure. And honesty, of course.
Honesty, trust.
Trust. Yeah.
Huge.
Huge. Yeah. So those are the things we need to do.
So those are the good things.
What are the things that we shouldn't do?
Well, the book also warns about the pitfalls.
The pitfalls. Okay.
So taking each other for granted,
Oh, yeah. That's easy to do.
it is so easy to do when you're in that routine
Uh-huh.
and then neglecting communication,
So not talking.
not talking, not checking in,
Yeah.
and letting resentment build up.
Oh, letting things fester?
Yes.
Not good.
Not good.
Okay, so we know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
We know what not to do.
Right.
The book gives a really good example here
Mm.
of this couple, Morgan and Taylor, who are starting to fall into that trap of taking each other for granted.
Uh-huh.
So what do they do to combat that?
Well, they do something really simple but powerful.
Okay, I like that.
They set aside time each week
Okay.
to express gratitude for each other.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, and to plan fun activities.
So like dedicated couple time.
Yes, dedicated couple time.
I love that.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Ah,
Just to remind each other
yeah,
why you fell in love in the first place,
exactly. And,
Yeah.
to nurture that relationship
instead of just letting it go.
on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've explored all these different concepts
Mm-hmm.
from the book, understanding our differences,
Yes.
navigating conflict,
Mm-hmm.
supporting each other, love languages,
Right.
intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we actually put it all together?
Okay.
It feels like a lot
It is a lot.
to take in.
Yes.
So what does the book say about that?
Well, it offers some good guidance.
Okay, good.
So the first step is to really embrace the idea
Oh.
that men and women are different.
Okay, so accept it.
Accept it.
It's not bad, it's just different.
It's not bad. It's just different.
Okay,
So no one's right or wrong.
we're just from different planets.
We're just from different planets. Yeah.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Good.
What's the next step?
Next step, prioritize communication.
Oh, that's always a big one.
Always a big one.
Right.
So practice that active listening.
Uh-huh.
Express your feelings clearly.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, yes.
Okay.
And be willing to adapt
Okay.
your communication style.
So you might need to change it up a bit,
You might have to change it up.
depending on
Who you're...
who you're talking to.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. And then what about support?
Well, think about their emotional needs,
Okay.
their love language,
Uh-huh.
and make sure your actions are lining up with that.
Okay, so like show them you care,
Yes.
not just tell them
Not just tell them, yeah, actions speak louder than words.
they
Yeah.
do. And then we got to remember those conflict resolution strategies
Absolutely.
when things start to get a little heated.
Yes. So approach those disagreements calmly.
Okay.
Focus on solutions.
Wow.
And remember, you're on the same team,
Okay.
even though you're coming from different places.
Yeah. And then, of course, intimacy.
Intimacy, that's an important one.
Yeah.
So prioritize quality time.
Uh-huh.
Be open and honest.
Yeah. Communicate.
Communicate.
And
Yeah.
express affection
Yes.
in a way that they will understand.
It resonates with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like, building a strong, healthy relationship,
Yes.
it really takes a lot of understanding
It does.
and communication.
And effort.
Effort. Yeah.
Consistent effort.
Not always easy.
It's not always easy, no, but it can be very rewarding.
It can be.
Yes.
And the book gives a really nice example of this.
It does.
A couple, Alex and Jamie,
Mm-hmm.
who have kind of put all these strategies into practice.
Into practice.
Yeah.
And they've built this really fulfilling,
Uh-huh.
lasting partnership.
Good for them.
It is good for them. It's very inspiring. Shows that it can be done.
It can be done.
So now I understand. The book also has like a Q&A section
It does.
and some real life stories from readers.
Yeah, and those are really good
Okay.
because it shows how people have actually applied these ideas.
Cool. So like real world examples.
Real world examples.
I like that.
And, it shows both the challenges and the rewards.
Okay, so it's not all sunshine and roses.
No, it's not always easy,
Right.
but it can be very rewarding.
Yeah, I'd love to hear an example.
Okay, well, one reader shared that, understanding their partner's love language was huge for them.
Okay.
And their partner's love language was acts of service.
They're doing things
Doing things. So they realized that their partner really felt loved.
through actions, not words.
Not words. Yes. So they started doing little things.
Okay.
Like helping with chores.
Or running errands or, just taking care of things that their
Yeah.
partner didn't like to do.
And they hated doing.
Yes. And it made a world of difference.
It's amazing how the little things can really be so impactful
They really can.
when it's the right thing.
When it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What other examples do we have?
Well, another reader shared that understanding the different communication styles
Mm-hmm.
helped them a lot
Okay.
because they realized that, her husband tended to withdraw when he was stressed,
Okay.
but she needed to talk.
So again, total opposite.
Total opposite, yeah.
Okay.
But once they understood that difference,
Mm-hmm.
it really helped them.
Yeah, so it's not about blaming each other.
No,
It's about understanding where they're coming from.
it's about understanding.
Yeah, okay, so this book then,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like a theoretical guide.
Yeah,
It's like a practical roadmap
it is.
for building a stronger relationship.
Absolutely.
And it's full of these real-world examples
Yeah.
and actionable tips
That you can use.
that you can actually use.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I like that.
Me too.
It's like you got to learn a whole new language
Ooh.
to make your partner feel loved.
Sometimes it feels that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So the book says, first we have to identify
Yes.
what our love language is.
Yours and your partner's.
Okay, and there are quizzes
There are quizzes.
and resources for this.
Yeah, or you can just think about what makes you feel loved.
Yeah, what makes you feel appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then once you know each other's love language,
Yes.
then you have to make an effort to speak it.
To speak it even if it feels weird
I
or
think-
unnatural at first.
Yeah, so like if my partner's love language is acts of service,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to step up my game
You are.
with the chores.
With the chores, yeah, and just doing those little things
Yeah.
that they'll appreciate.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be big things.
No, it doesn't.
It's really the little
It's
things
the little things that count.
that matter,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it's interesting that this material was originally intended for a YouTube video.
Interesting.
It makes me wonder if like the format would have changed the message at all.
I think the core message would have stayed the same.
Okay.
Even though a YouTube video would be more visual,
Yeah.
maybe faster paced,
Uh-huh.
I still think the main point of, understanding and appreciating the differences
Right.
would have come across.
Yeah, it's really a universal message.
It is.
That's timeless.
Timeless, yes.
Yeah. So it makes sense that it could be adapted
Mm-hmm.
to any format.
Absolutely.
Really cool. Now, something else that comes up in the source material is this idea of stress reduction
Oh, yeah.
and how important it is
It is very important,
for our relationship.
especially romantic relationships.
Because when we're stressed, we don't always act our best,
No, we don't.
right? So learning how to manage that stress
Yes.
can really help us to communicate better,
Mhm.
empathize more.
and just be more present.
Be more present. Yeah,
And that strengthens a relationship.
totally. So it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah, I think we've gotten through pretty much everything.
I think so.
All the major points, at least.
The main points, yes.
From men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of fun
We have.
diving deep into this book.
It's been great.
So before we go, I want to leave our listeners
Okay.
with this thought-provoking question
Okay, I like it.
that comes from the source material.
Right.
And it asks this: what if understanding your relationship planet,
Ooh.
whether you're from Mars or Venus,
Right.
could actually lead to smoother communication,
Mm-hmm.
deeper connection?
And a more harmonious partnership.
Exactly.
Something to think about.
It is something to think about.
Yeah.
It encourages us to
Mm-hmm.
reflect on our own relationships.
Yes.
See those differences not as obstacles,
Right.
but as opportunities for growth.
Opportunities.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Me too.
All right, so to all of our listeners out there,
Yes.
thank you for joining us
Thank you.
on this deep dive into
Mhm.
men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yes.
We hope you learned some valuable insights
I hope so.
that can help you in your own relationships.
Me too.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.